daily Finkel scene, and I'm really delighted to see you all here on a semi-beautiful day in Seattle. This counts as a good day in Seattle. And I'm here because for a few reasons. One is I think we need to tell stories of victory. There's a lot of stories out there right now of dread and doom, and that's true. But there's also truth in the fact that we win. And we don't tell ourselves that story enough because there's a lot of blocks to letting those kinds of stories out. And so I'm here to listen to stories of a win and get what I can from it so that I can use it in my own organizing. I'm a member of the Disability Liberation Front, and the reason we're here is to be in solidarity with bus drivers, which sounds weird. Why would people who you think maybe wouldn't be in solidarity with bus drivers who pass us by, who are mean to us, who don't really understand what consent means, like don't touch my wheelchair means don't touch my wheelchair, because it's part of me. Why would we be in solidarity with workers like that? And the answer is, for me, anyway, if you don't give people enough time to finish their route, and every wheelchair that's on it makes you go longer, and then you get in trouble for not finishing your route, there's a problem there. You're setting worker against worker. And we have to be careful when workers are being set against workers and work together against, who's the real problem, right? And the problem really is privatization, neoliberal agendas, and, bosses being bastards, which is something new. What do we do then? Instead of telling the Disability Liberation Front, instead of saying the transit union has to have the same agenda as we do, or the same diversity of tactics that we do, said, let's not fight. And let the transit workers union have their tactics and their agenda. We'll have our tactics and our agenda, and work in solidarity with each other. Because I think we need to learn to stop fighting on the left, stop being divided on the left. It's a very important time to do that. I have to say that the buses and access was so bad that I started to refuse to go on any of them. And I'm a lifelong transit union user. I'm from New York. And but I couldn't stand it anymore. I was having anxiety attacks, waiting for bus drivers to attack me in some way. So, and I have friends who are bus drivers. I want to be clear about that. I don't think all of them are like this, but enough of them are that I have problems with it. And, I'm here because I want to make sure nobody's having anxiety attacks before they get on the buses. At the very least, and that's sort of the least access we can ask for. That's the sort of bottom line there. Don't have anxiety attacks before we get on buses. Okay, let us get on the buses. That would be another thing. Okay, so I appreciate you all being here, and thanks very much.
I want to take a moment to introduce a sister that traveled all the way from the East Coast to come share a story with us. A story of facts, a story of solidarity, and a story of victory. So without further delay, I want to introduce Sister Georgia Scott. Georgia Scott is the first African-American woman treasurer of the union. She was first a bus monitor and then a bus driver for 20 years. In 1965, when Scott was only 9 years old, she participated in the historic Bloody Sunday march for voting rights over the Edmund Peters Bridge in Selma, Alabama, where she was born. So, Mr. Georgia, let's give her Welcome applause.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. My name is Georgia Scott. I'm a member of Team Solidarity, school bus driver, shop steward, and first African American woman treasurer of A751. I'm going to basically just tell you a little bit about the tragedies that we are going through, and in hopes that someone here will take it out to the streets so that others can know exactly what big corporations do, what they intend to do, and they don't have a problem doing that. Well, Veolia, I don't know how much you guys have heard, but we do have a website to give some detailed information on Veolia. Veolia Transdev came into Boston in 2013. We're a very small union, local, about 1,000 drivers. Veolia came in when Mayor Menino was in office. Menino brought him in. Veolia was not the lowest bidder, and normally that's the way it goes. Veolia was about number 3, yet the contract was given to Veolia. My belief is that it was given to Veolia because Veolia has a reputation of union busting. So they came in. The first thing that they asked of the drivers was to do new hire applications. We refuse to do new hire applications because we are not new hire. Our contract does not state anywhere that we were new hires, but Veolia was intended to do what it wanted to do, but it had not taken a look at the drivers themselves. We're small, but we're powerful. We will fight for what we believe in. So we refused. Veolia didn't like that. It did little dances, little jump, whatever. The next step was to suspend our drivers on what they said was a wildcat strike, never a wildcat strike. Veolia came in and took away our DVCRs. And that's the records of being able to calculate your hours and your pay. Well, they took away all that. That's also in our contract book. Therefore, on a weekly basis, a daily basis, they was taking anywhere from 30 minutes, and I go up as high as 2 hours in pay from our drivers. This went on, and we filed grievances, we talked, whatever. Veolia paid no attention. Well, the morning that they accused us of having a wildcat strike, what we asked of Veolia was that they have a sit-down meeting with our union, our executive board. We have that. That's what it does. That's what it's for. Veolia refused. However, on the envelope that morning, there were the city of Boston. There were the Veolia people. Normally, those people don't start work until 9 o'clock. Our buses, some of our buses roll out at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, so why were they there? They knew something was going on. Well, they refused to meet with us. They were not going to meet with us because they was determined that they were going to keep our money. One of our city councilors, his name is Charles Fianci, heard about it. He's been with us for many, many, many years. He heard what was going on, came out to the yard, and along with some of our executive board members, went over to speak with Veolia. Veolia threatened him with the police, and they didn't get the police. They threatened him, throw him out, and that's what they did. The police threw him out of the yard. This is our city council. So again, it tells you what the Veolia and these big corporations are capable of, what they intend to do, and if you don't stop them, they will do it. Well, we went back, Veolia at this time locked the gates because the intent was to have the people, the parents, believe that we had stranded their children. Wasn't the case. I'm a grandmother of 9 grandchildren, and 3 children that rode those buses, and I still have 1 or 2 that ride buses. My job is sacred to me, and my grandchildren are definitely sacred to me. So the intent again was to have the people believe that those old bus drivers stranded these children in the freezing cold. Yet, the Patriots game, they took our buses and they picked up Patriots and they dropped them off at the game, but we didn't have buses, you know. So we couldn't get back in the yard. The words out, Boston Globe, Boston Herald, all those bus drivers, all negative. We were rabble rousers. We was just bad people. Well, that didn't work. We got out there and we protested and did what we needed to do to stop it. The next step was to suspend our 4 leaders. There was 1 leader from each of our 4 yards. Mr. Kirschbaum here is a 42-year veteran. He definitely wasn't going to do a new hire application. There were Gary Murchison. Mr. Kirschbaum was our chairperson at the time. Gary Murchison was a 3-time president of our union. All right? Then you had Andre Francois, which was about to become the president of the union. You have Steve Gillis, our financial secretary, damn good at his job. These are the 4 highest ranking of our union, and 1 in each yard. They took those 4, actually it was 5, but 1 thing that come back ASAP. But those 4 leaders, they refused to let them come back. The next step was termination, and people, I am skipping a lot of stuff that took place because we had 4 other people here to speak. It is too much to tell you all. So the next step was termination for these 4 guys, which meant you chop off the head, the body's going to fall. That didn't happen. We wasn't going to let it happen. Went on. The next step was Mr. Kirschbaum. They had him in court on trumped up charges. Trumped up, I know it was trumped up. I was there. Again, they did not read our contract because it was given to them deliberately to bust our union. The thing was, they weren't supposed to be on the property. This is what they used because they were terminated. Mr. Kirschbaum supposedly had thrown a table and hit one of the management people. Did all types of damage in the driver's room. This is our driver's room. This is something that was fought for. We went to court, I believe, about 9 months. About 9 months. We was there. They were pushing the dates back. They were doing all kind of hoping that we would give up. The members would give up and leave these 4 guys and Mr. Kirschbaum, by themselves. But we didn't. Every court day, we filled that courthouse with about 200, 300, maybe 400 of our members. We literally took over Roxbury District Court. We rallied in their lobbies. We rallied on the outside. We even had a little music going up in there. They didn't like it, but they had no choice because we came out in numbers. These 4 guys worked tirelessly, and still are today, without pay for about 28 months. That's a little over 2 years, with no pay. But I tell you what, they worked. They didn't give up, and we didn't give up. The company stated, oh, we'll never work with you, Jay. You'll never be back. But I think we all know they lied. They lied. That's what they wanted. How did they survive? People like you. There was websites set up, people donated. We took a vote to donate to our drivers, our poor drivers, to make sure that their children that might have been in college, their rent, their mortgage, whatever, that had to be paid, was paid. This is what we did, and that means all of us. Workers' World was a big help. We won that battle. Well, in court, when the verdict came down, it was a not guilty, and it didn't even take, people say it took 10 minutes, it didn't take 10 minutes. It only took about 8 or 9. The young lady that they had coached into making these charges, what happened with her was, when one of the lawyers stated to the judge, Your Honor, Ms. Griffin and Mr. Maynard need an attorney, a criminal attorney. Well, that's the day that you saw her in a corner by herself. Veolia and Mr. Maynard and the rest of Veolia over here together. This young lady was left standing. There was many days, I think I told one of my comrades that I wanted to talk to this young lady because I knew she was setting herself up. Well, they terminated her employment. They left her in court. If we wanted to, we could have filed a criminal charge, but we knew that they were using it. Nobody bothered. Well, we won that case. They came with, all types of different stuff, as soon as that was over, the international stepped in, and the international had really turned us back on. So that, I'm saying this to say that the battles have to be fought by us. Because even the international wants to be paid. It's about money. And this is something that I had to learn. Because I felt that if I'm giving you 60% of my income, when I call you, you're supposed to be there. Well, they wasn't. Thank God we had 4 strong leaders that knew how to fight this and not listen to me because I felt we should take him to court, or we should make him do this, or we should make him do that. It didn't happen that way. Once Mr. Kirschbaum's charges was dropped, the representative that had worked with us for all these years, and they got rid of what he was out, and they put somebody else in. Once Mr. Kirschbaum won his case, our old representative was brought back. The same day, we got a call. So, and I'm going to stop because of my other members need to speak too. But I'm saying all of this because we, the people, control what happens here in this country and around the globe. And believe me, it's happening all over the world, the same thing. There are Veolias everywhere. So we, the people, have the power because if it wasn't for us and our power, our strength, we would be busted. These people, our retirees, our people that got hurt in the job, they canceling their insurance. So though we won big victories, this company is coming back every day with something new. And it's not just them, their contract is with our government. So we're not only fighting Veolia, we're fighting the city of Boston, our government, the people that we pay to do the job of the people. So we really need to think how we're going to strategize and work together as a people. Disabilities, we've always worked with people with disabilities. Some of our people, our most loyal, are disabled people. So I'd like to just thank you guys for listening to me, and I would like to think that we're going to take this word out there. And something else I heard, my co-worker here and myself was talking, where are the young people? Where are the young people? And then a few other people asked me, where are the young people? Well, I said the young people are here. They're not in this room with us, but they're out there on the street doing the jobs that they need to be doing. So what we need to do is try and incorporate with them, see what they're doing, and maybe give them some advice or wherever we can fit in to support these young people, because they're doing a job that we should be doing. Thank you.
Okay, brothers and sisters, so it is a fact that we have to take the blind off our eye and acknowledge that together we can make things happen. We got to be unified, we got to be strong, because we fight the same corporation, the same CEO, the same people that's trying to keep working class people, trying to keep black people, trying to keep low income people, workers into a struggle where we cannot win unless we come together and fight. And we cannot be victorious unless we fight, because they're not going to hand anything to us, nothing. So I want to take this moment also to introduce the next speaker, Noah Braggs. I hope I'm saying it right. Noah Braggs was born in Mobile, Alabama. He was a school bus monitor for 10 years. Unlike Georgia, was able to become a bus driver because of unions like USW Local 8751. Extraordinary contract language provided special priority upgrade training and absolute preference in hiring. The local fought won this language early in contract negotiations. As a remedy for the company's past history of racism and sexism, Noah, as a shop steward and leader in many of the contract committee and as a lead organizer of Team Solidarity, Noah is very active organizing in the community. So let's take this moment and do a choice, because brothers and sisters, we have to reach out to our community, we have to reach out to our churches. This fight is not just only on the floor of labor, but it has to be on the floor of the community. So we have to make sure we reach out and come together. That's the only way we're going to win. There's no reason to invent the history. It's already a blueprint. It's happened already, and it's going to happen. We have a way already. We just got to go back to that blueprint and go to fight. So no further delay, let's make Sister Noah come.
Good evening, everyone. It is truly a pleasure to be here today. Everyone is wondering, how did those school bus driver win that battle with this big corporation, Veolia, which has cornered the globe. I'm going to tell you how we won, how I feel we won. We won with our boots in the streets, marching, protesting, collecting all our allies that we would have, our officials that knew that this was a frame of charge, and most of all, the community, because we are predominantly a black school bus driver, and we work basically in the black community, picking up the children of Boston, and that's our job to pick the children up and bring them home as safely as possible. That is the job of a school bus driver. So on October the 8th, I want to just, because you're going to hear the same thing, but it's all about victory. So I feel to gain a victory, we have to be united. We have to be united, and we have to have the people power. Like you're going to hear constantly, we cannot do it by ourselves, and we did not. On October the 8th, our leaders, all of us, bus drivers, we was all framed up because we all suffered. We suffered along with our leaders because we knew without our leaders that this corporation would attempt to do anything possible to bring us back to slavery as possible. Those are the things that they did attempt to do to us. They took away our pay sneakily that we couldn't, like as if you couldn't see it in your paycheck, we knew this. They took away a lot of health insurance from our members and also from their spouses. And on our job, we have a high rate because we work around diesel. We have a high rate of deaths around in our bus system. People have died on this job. And we knew that we was not going to allow this corporation, Veolia, to come in and take the livelihood away from our people. And this is what we were not going to allow. It was October the 8th, which to me is very historical. I came into my bus yard, and at that bus yard, Steve Kirschbaum worked at that bus yard. Actually, also Tutu, the three of us worked in that bus yard. I noticed that it was extremely dark, so therefore the bus lights wasn't on in that yard. So I walked up to Steve and I said, "Wait, what's going on here? What's going on? You know?" So he says, "Just go get your clipboard, and as soon as we get a meeting from the company, we will be leaving out to go pick the children up." So that's what I did. I went and got my board and continued on to get the rest of the information that was transpiring. We waited for a while. Actually, the president that we had at that particular time was also at our yard. And we noticed there was a lot of officials that do not be around the bus company at all that was also there. So we started getting very suspicious. And we knew we were set up for the okie doke. And that's what happened. So now at this time, we still demanding our union, our president, he's there at this particular time. All of a sudden, he disappears. International comes in with them. Apparently, they're down at the city farming junction on us that we done did a wildcat strike, an illegal wildcat strike. Now we're left standing by ourselves. But thank God, the 4 leaders was out of the 4 yards to know what to do because we were messed up. Okay, so next thing you know, we was ordered, you got the helicopters, police helicopters, you have polices all over the place. Now we are demanding to get off the property because we are now trespassing. At this point in time, they put us out, we left, but we stayed close by the yard to try to figure out what was going on. And all of a sudden, they put a dog chain on the locks. Treated us like the most criminals that could ever be. And one thing I would like to say, they knew we wasn't criminals because we are school bus drivers and we get quarried every year. So they knew we was not criminals. Actually, they were the criminals trying to do all kind of things to us. October the 8th this year, so we're waiting, figuring out what's going on. It was a long battle, and I will tell you all, it's still a battle that we are continuing to fight this day with this giant corporation called Veolia Transdev, whatever, that's cornering the market of transportation all over the place. And if you all can stop them the same way we are trying, we're doing our best, and we are stopping them on a lot of things. So now we're sitting, we're waiting, we're protesting, we're pulling all our allies together, we're pulling all our community leaders, all the parents, and everything together to fight to get our drivers back. Veolia job was, they thought they was going to starve our drivers out. So, and this is where I have so much respect for them because 2.5 years plus, neither one of them went out and took another job, nor did they abandon us. So I got to give them that. Like my sister said, thank God for a lot of organizations that did collect. Even though we would collect on our paycheck to try to support them, and a lot of people here in their different organizations, they also did the same thing. But to make a long story short, we won that victory, but we won it with unity and power in the streets, with the community. And if anybody's coming up against a big corporation that's trying to take your livelihood, just to bring you down back into a slave racism position, the answer is hell to the no. Put your foot to the ground. Stand strong. You with all your allies, and it can be, even though they are just multi-million-dollar, and their job is to bring the working class down. But our parents don't work, and I'm sure we're not here to let nobody take anything from us while we can breathe. So our job is to fight, to keep on fighting, and we did get our leaders back, and we are happy. They got some payback, and now we are stomping the hell out of Veolia, and they don't like it at all. So this is what we will continue to do as union members. And I want to thank you all for listening to me, because you're going to hear more as we go along down this side. Enjoy.
Anytime I work with someone for the right, they always say, call you criminal, call you all kind of names. But we know who's the real criminal, right? Who's the real criminal? Who's the real criminal? Who is the real criminal? Yeah. So at this time, I want to bring Brother Clive, Jermaine. Due to Jermaine under leadership of team leader, local recording secretary and Boston Fanny Lavala's leader, the leadership has initiated an extremely popular and exciting Stewart School held in the bus yard with the state purpose of training an army of new team solidarity leaders, sharpening the skills of the veteran leaders. The session also raised political campaign, concrete solidarity with the rising strike and present lesson from local 87, 51, 40 plus years of history. So brothers, what we're saying that we have to get educated, strap up our boots, and organize and go to war. So that's no further delay, but class to the thing.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. That's a great pleasure to come down here on the West Coast tour, to come to Iota and to bring the story of the Union, what happened in Boston. I would like to start by saying Veolia is a giant company, but I have to say is from France, which is a power way back, colonial power, want to put all the people, working class people, enslaved at that time. Veolia want to do the same thing when it comes to Boston. We stopped. We stopped it anyway. I remember when Veolia came in April, first thing he was trying to do is, like my sister just said, just to get everybody a new application to become new employees. We not accept that. We stood, we fought, and we won that. We stopped that not happening. And we continue to do, along with all disturbance of Veolia, in terms of try to dismantle our union. We got multiple meetings with them. And on June 18, they finally signed an agreement to respect all conditions, meaning our book, our yellow book, that book, they have to respect that book with everything inside. Everything. But that's hard to say this because they had some, Veolia had some collaboration to the prior leadership at that time, the president. But who really collaborated with that time, and Veolia did not respect these people you see I just showed you. Unity. Not my sister just said, you need to have unity to win. But when you have a group of people who really don't want to bring unity together to win the battle, they want to do their own thing, you're not going to win the battle. You're not going to win. No way you can win while you separate. You need to come together to win. That's how we win that battle with Veolia on December 18th. Finally, we should come up with June 30th, 2013. Our contract was going to expire. That's been we need a new contract. By July 1st, 2013, we're not going to have a contract. But because of the way our contract is written, we have 1 year we can negotiate and still have this everything we had along while we negotiate our new contract. But we need to set a team for the negotiation. We need to have elections. That's the way we do things. We always do things democratically. People need to vote for the people they want to be represented. Then, finally, we can have an election for 17 members who want to be at the negotiation table. Finally, we have an election for only 8 members. We won. We swept that election. We won all positions. That's our victory started right there. And for the leadership, right? The other leadership I just talked about earlier, who was collaborating with Veolia. That's why I said it's sad to say this, but it happened. But we have to deal with that. But now, because there need 17 members to represent the members at the negotiating table,